The first thing I noticed was my mother's hand tightening around my father's arm. Not pride, not joy, fear. The ceremony hadn't even started yet. Rows of folding chairs, sunlight bouncing off polished shoes. My sister sat 2 seats away from me in her tailored gown. Calm, confident, funded. I sat quietly. The same color robe, the same degree category, the same stage ahead of us. Different stories. My parents hadn't looked at me all morning. They didn't need to. They already knew who they'd come for, so they thought. 4 years earlier, the scene was much smaller. Kitchen table coffee, gone cold. Acceptance letters, spread like proof of life. Same college resume, program, same start line. Dad adjusted his glasses. Mom folded her hands like she was about to pray. "We've talked about this," she said. That tone of one that pretends a decision was mutual when it never was. "We can only afford one tuition." I already knew the Indingi'd known it since childhood. Still, I waited. "Your sister has potential," Dad said. "She's focus-driven." He paused, looked at me like he was searching for a kinder word, and came up empty. "You don't." That sentence didn't land loudly, sank quiet, permanent. They paid her tuition in full, bookshelving Gextrasi, got a pamphlet on student loans, and a smile that said, "Be realistic." That was the day I learned something important about betrayal. It doesn't always come with anger. Sometimes it comes with certainty. The first year was survivally worked night stockroom call center. Anything that paid. He watched my sister join clubs, study abroad. Networky watched my parents post photos of their girl online. I didn't confront them. He didn't didn't explain. I observed. I learned which professors mattered, which internships actually led somewhere, which students coasted, and which ones stayed late. I learned how invisible people get underestimated. By second year, I noticed patterns. My sister stopped calling me parents, stopped asking. Their support flowed in one direction, like a pipeline they refused to acknowledge. That's when the heartbreak ended. Not because it hurt less, because it hardened. I didn't need their approval. I needed leverage. So I built it. I applied for scholarships they didn't know existed, grants. No one bothered reading the fine print. Only freelanced between classes, took unpaid internships that came with access. Instead of money, learned to speak in rooms where confidence mattered more than pedigree. I didn't react. I calculated. By third year, professors were asking me to stay after class. Recruiters were asking me questions. I didn't post about it. It didn't announce. Insolence was part of the strategy. My sister noticed. Eventually, she laughed it off. "Guess you found your thing," she said once, like it was a hobby. I smiled, let her believe that. The plan wasn't revenge in the dramatic senseno screaming no ultimatums. It was alignment. I accepted an offer 6 months before graduation, a real one, salary, signing bonus, relocation package. Me name on a project that mattered. Negotiated quietly, ruthlessly. I made sure the offer letter arrived in a thick envelope, the kind parents recognize as important. Graduation day came fast after that. My parents arrived, dressed like this was their achievement. Mom scanned the program for my sister's name. Dad nodded at faculty he didn't know. They still hadn't asked about me. The dean started calling names. Applause rose and fell in waves. My sister walked first, loud cheers. Me parents stood, phones out, pride on display. Then my name. The applause was polite until it wasn't. A faculty member leaned into the microphone in unscheduled edition. "Before we continue," he said, "we'd like to recognize an exceptional achievement." I didn't look at my parents, didn't need to. He listed accomplishments they'd never heard of, awards. They never attended a scholarship funded by the same institution they thought I wasn't worth investing in. Then the company Namathi Rolay number. The crowd reacted before my parents did. I stood, walked to the stage, calm, controlled. That's when my mother grabbed my father's arm. "Harold," she whispered, voice cracking, "what did we do?" I faced them for the first time that day. Not angry, not pleading, complete. After the ceremony, they found me words tripped over themselves, explanations, regret dressed up as confusion. We didn't know, Mom said. I nodded. That was the problem. My sister stood behind them, silent for once, unsure where she fit. I know, I said. You never asked. There was nothing left to take, nothing left to prove. I didn't cut them off, didn't punish them. I left them with the truth. Some betrayals don't deserve revenge fueled by rage. They deserve consequences delivered calmly. I walked away lighter than I'd ever felt, not because I won, but because I stopped needing them to see me. They finally did. Too late.